Okay, this video, it's about the fact that I'm making up an ATA uniform. That's Air Transport Auxiliary uniform from World War II. Now, these were not as such military people. They were the people who flew the planes between the factories and the airfields. So these people who flew these aircraft had to be able to fly all forms, all makes and models of aircraft that were in use in World War II. That is by the Allies, of course. Well, this basically is a RAF jacket. It's probably not a very old one, but in terms of style, they've not really changed very much since World War II. The jackets used in World War II by the ATA didn't have any lapels on them, and neither has this one, so that's correct. They probably should have buttons on the pockets, but this doesn't have any buttons on the pocket, and one of the pockets is actually a dummy pocket as well. The left hand, the right hand one is real. So the jacket should be much darker. It should be a really dark blue. Don't know if I've got anything quite along the lines of how dark blue it should be. I'll put a proper picture of a real one in the video about here. Now, the problems with making these jackets. Okay, you can get these badges. You can also get the hat and so on that goes with it, or the badges for the hat and so on, I should say. Some people are making the hat as well. Now the problem is the buttons. Now there should be a black button with ATA on them and a small crown, or as some people describe it, a coronet above the letters ATA. And there are two different sizes. This one is approximately about 2 centimeters in diameter, and this one would be about 13-15 millimeters in diameter, so 1.3 centimeters, 1 to 1.5. They should have a little metal brass loop on the back, like so. Now these I'm using are actually GPO buttons, vintage GPO buttons. You can pick these up on eBay. Now there is a similarity between the GPO button and the ATA button. I believe they're made by the same manufacturer. They have a crown, but the crown on the GPO button is different. But having said that, this crown is the same as the one that's used on the old RAF black plastic buttons, also apparently from World War II. So the crown, the period of the use of that crown seems to be correct. Now, it should have a rim around the button and these small lines running across. So the GPO button has this. The RAF buttons have the crown and the whatever it is, the bird, with the wings, the RAF wings underneath. But the ATA buttons shouldn't have wings on them. They just have a crown and ATA. So they actually look pretty much like this. That's an ATA button, or at least a printout of an ATA button. So the problem is how to achieve the ATA button. So what I've done is I've taken the GPO button that I'm using on the jacket and I've dremeled it off, or used a cheap fake Dremel tool to cut it off. What I've then done, I've ground it off I should say, with a Dremel tool. What I've then done is I've made these letters ATA in aluminium and I've bent them round and I've super glued them down onto the button. So you're going to say, well, that's a lot of work to go to make every button and they're going to fall off. Yeah, they are. And I'd have to paint them black, wouldn't I, to go in with the button design. So I'm not going to be doing that. The idea is this is a starting pattern. Also, I should say, before you notice it, the centres of the A's, the little holes, I was not able to make those centres. I didn't really have a drill and so on to drill the little hole out, and then again I didn't have a file, small triangular file, small enough to enable me to file those into a triangle, so as they were done. Also, the shapes of the letters are not the same identically, they're not identical with that. But I'm not going to worry so much. As I say, I've got a different crown on it, and I actually like the layout I've made of my ATA letters, possibly more so than the original. So I'm going to stick with this, and what I'm doing is I'm making a mould. There are a number of videos on YouTube to show you how to make a mould for a button. You basically buy a 2-component silicone putty pack or mould pack. This is one that's just arrived, which I've ordered over eBay. It cost about £5 for a 50-gram pack, which I'm told this is. There's the details. Comes from Moldcraft Fast Sil, so it's silicon. Is fast curing silicon putty, easily mixed and applied by hand. Okay, so the trick is to get a bit of this out in equal measures. I reckon they're not too much off the same size. Right, so you get those two and then you mix it together until it's one common colour, like a pale blue it's going to be, isn't it? When I've seen it used on YouTube, it seems to start, well, they state that it starts setting pretty quickly. So you don't need any release agents to use this stuff. So here we go. Let's have a quick go. Okay, so this obviously you need to push it in and then you're going to have to leave this thing to set for a while. So I'm presuming that this stuff will flex a bit So we're looking at 1:42 on my watch now. I'm just going to push it up so that it's around the back of the button a bit, like so. 1:42. So if I leave this for 10 minutes, then come back and see how it's setting. Well, about 4 hours has gone by. I decided it was best to let it to go really solid before I opened it up, because it was quite soft. So let's see what this looks like. Well, you can see nothing has stuck to the button, so that's a good pointer. And inside you can see there's the ATA emblem there, the letters, and a crown up in the top. Now, I think if this doesn't work out quite right, you can actually take a little bit more of the putty, roll a little bit more up, and you can push it into any little crevices which haven't come out quite right, and and then apply the button back in again. If you do this within say about 4 hours or so, the putty, I think, will still bond to the other main body of the putty. It seems to join to it again, so you can get away with doing that. But I'm fairly happy with how that's worked out. I could pour some wax into that now if I wanted, and make it a temporary wax button. Then I could carve more detail into the wax, and then make a second one of these off the wax button. So by putting it in wax, you could then engrave the centers of the A out in more detail. You know, so you're basically improving it each time you make it a mold. What I've done next is I've taken this fast glass resin made by Isopon, and I've mixed some of it, basically a small amount, teaspoonful or so, and just enough to cast a button. I've poured it into this old ladle. I've added a little drop of black paint, which happens to be this International Matte Black for metal work, oak beams and blackboards. Yeah, basically just a little drop of that. I've poured and I've just dripped it in, and I've mixed it up with a screwdriver. I've added the hardener, little drop of hardener in, and what I've done next is I've poured it into my mold. Now what I have here is I've created a little wire frame to hold a split pin, which I've conveniently bent the legs out on, so that basically I've cast a button now with a split pin sat inside the resin. And the idea is, once it's gone hard, basically I lift it off this and I draw out this copper wire here through from the split pin, and that should leave it all nice and centered. Basically, if I didn't have this frame around it, the split pin would keep falling over to one side and dropping in the resin. So you need some sort of frame bent, simply like that. Just check before you do all this, you know, check the alignment. Even put a little mark on your mould so that you know which is the top of the mould, the top of the button, so that when you place it in there you get consistency in terms of which way round the split pin is oriented. And so I'm leaving that to harden. It should be 20 to 30 minutes, but I'll probably leave it about an hour just to be certain. Okay, I've left it for about an hour, and let's see, it seems fairly hard, so time to go and strip it down and have a look. It seems fairly hard. Slowly tease it around the edges. Yeah, it could be worse. You can make out the ATA on it. It's got a slight too much of a shine to it in places, but I think with a little bit of a scrub of soap and water, with a brush, nail brush and so on, I think it could actually take the shine off it and matte it a little bit. Now what I can do at this point is I can matte this down and I can go over some of the points on the letters, tidy them up, and then make another mould using this one, transfer a cleaned up version of the button into more putty, and do it in stages, so each time I make a mould I'm hopefully tidying up the image that's on the button. Now it needs a little bit of filing work around the back as well if I was going to be using it as a button. I'll have a play around with it, see what I can make it look like. Okay, after I've done a little bit of filing, they're not too bad now. Tidied them up around the edges and so on. Yeah, and there's the split pins on the back, so they should work out. So this is a 10p piece just for scale. That's my my GPO button I modified, and there's the original GPO button, which I you know, one of the originals I ground off to make this mould here. Yeah, so you know, they've worked out. Not too bad. Doesn't take too long to make them once you get the mix of the resin right either. They can harden up in about 20 minutes.